only time she got to sit down was on her armchair of a piebald cob. When I suggested to my lot that we make Wurzel gummidge, they had to get their phones out to Google him. If he's not the very embodiment of John Pertwee, I'm docking their screen time. Petra was constantly on the lookout for distractions from, and inspiration for, the racy historical romances she churned out in a shed in her garden, much of it coming from her opinionated chestnut mare, known simply as the Redhead, still stubbornly refusing to go past Donald Trump. "Open Gardens Week used to be a lot better," said Mo, "but the townies who've moved in don't take village events seriously." The Comptons were idyllic outposts on the tip of the Cotswolds' northernmost Fosse Hills, jewels in the crown of an area affectionately known as the Bard's Wolds for its proximity to Stratford-upon-Avon. Although small, it boasted an abundance of steeply wooded river valleys, skirted with orchards and dotted with golden villages, into which families ripe for change dropped sweetly each year. The area's grandest houses, stately Elizabethan and Jacobean piles hidden amid deer parks, had long attracted the super-rich, in search of privacy a short helicopter flight from London and Birmingham, and actors settled in villages close to the RSC. In recent years, though, the Bardswold's manors and rectories have been traded between media types like top trumps, while its cottages attracted theatre-junkie retirees and 30-something professionals, all leading a procession out of London to find more bang for their buck. Of the Fosse Hill villages, the small and much photographed Compton Magna was the star, regularly outshining nearby ugly sister Bagot, despite the latter's far longer history. Although it looked centuries old, Compton Magna had been largely created at the whim of a local family to house their estate workers. With its golden houses grouped in a figure of 8 around the green, its 2-room school, the duck pond and the tiny Gothic Revival church tucked between tall yew trunks and ancient meadows with standing stones, it was a stage set in which squires, smallholders and cottagers had played no part. Beloved of film and television crews, Compton Magna had appeared in everything from costume dramas to tampon adverts, pop videos and a grisly crime series. Heavily diluted by an influx of settlers aspiring to a gingham, bunting, farrow and ball English country life, the intense rivalry between the villages had lost its earthy edge. Open Gardens Week, dreaded by villagers and horse riders alike, had become far more focused on the scarecrow competition and lavish cake baking than on showing off one's sweet peas. "It should be about the standard of the cornflowers, not corn men," lamented Jill. "We're not all green-fingered," said Petra, knowing she was still classified as a townie, even after a decade living in the Cotswolds, more than half of it in this village. "And it gets seriously expensive when you're shamed into spending a fortune at the garden centre at the last minute to make your beds look half decent." "One can't just click a ready-made herbaceous border on Amazon Prime, Petra," chided Jill, her glossy bay now strutting past a straw man in a scream mask, brandishing a scythe. "I'm very proud of my Achilles this year, although last night's storm finished off the Delphis. Dad's been having terrible trouble with his osteospermum," admitted Mo. "Has he tried holistic medicine?" asked Bridge, whose little Connemara had now spotted the scream mask. Moments later, they shot off at speed across the green. "I thought you and Charlie had a gardener," Mo asked Petra, as she gave her a lead past the offending scarecrows, the chestnut mare taking exaggerated antelope leaps. "We had to let him go." Petra hung on gamely as they pogoed from verge to verge. "Kenneth next door accused him of sabotaging his floral hedge, and it all got very tawdry. A forsythia saga," she added for Jill's benefit, and was rewarded with an appreciative hoot. "Like gladioli, an absolute crime in a country garden," tutted the vet, glaring